Okay, so melanin must be a hell of a thing because nobody, and I mean, like, damn, nobody can handle the topic, the subject, the science, or just looking at what it is. Like, for the most part, it's the fact that it is intolerable to have a position on something that's always changing when people are always looking at it in terms of like oh, you got more or less based on what's on your skin. And a topic so broad, we could just be so general. You can't, right? Uh, a lot of white people not might want to hear about melanin or laugh at the subject, right? But if you are, you're looking at it like you're just looking at the amount that's on somebody's skin and saying, oh, they have more or less, therefore I could say what it does or doesn't do, what it, and then the black people are like, oh, you have less melanin than me, so I could push over you in your life, and I should be able to manipulate, or you should just listen to what I'm telling you. It should just be a given. Like, do what I want you to do because I have more. Like, no, you don't fucking have more. It's something that people have to cultivate. Okay, there's a reason why white people don't have UV melanin or neuro what's this neuromelanin, right? Is or the amount that's on their skin because they're cultivating. And if your dumbass doesn't need it, then that's tragic, right? A lot of times people are so lazy and petty that they're only interested in what they could get out of a person if they can affect or manipulate or direct this one person, and you're only one person. Then after that, then you're just gonna do it over and over. You never like. So, and the point is not to say I have more or I'm just like, it's just like every cell in your body. Okay, well, you have this kind or that kind and more. Yeah, but why? And like, what do you do with it? Like, what it's called you to some form of work that you ascribe a purpose when you do a little bit more than of that thing than you would have liked to do, right? That's work, right? And it's hindsight is 2020. You can't appreciate what goes into cultivating melanin until hindsight, until you look at it. Then you're paid in full. You get your life. You get what you get, what you are. What you allow people to talk to is like a credit. It's a credit on you. You should be given that which you contribute, and to nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on is people are not processing. They're not doing the work, and they want uh they want to what's it called, evaluate what's there for someone else to evaluate, to put them in, you know what I'm saying. And the spiritual domain is all terms are evaluations of wealth. Every word in the spiritual language is an evaluation of wealth. And when you see what melanin is, then you'll see how we're all caught up in this. We're all caught up in this. You know what I mean? Like having more melanin on your skin does not mean that you are not looking at it the right way. Then you would think that you don't need that. Unfortunately, like, if you could cultivate something that would make you a poet, that would make you ride horses, make you be able to sustain out in the sun, and like give you good health and longevity. you get to you get to wreck a buddy, you get to bump a breezy. All those things you would think is good enough in its own. Then that is the form of payment. Then if you don't get it, then you didn't have it, right? So then you should be happy with it. Then you don't need to hold it out over anybody else's head. And if somebody's cultivating melanin and you have a lot of melanin, then it should be recognition. It shouldn't be like, oh, stop that, do this. Like, oh, you ain't doing it right. Oh, you know what I mean? Because you have a different type of a destiny with it, or you were given a certain type of you know, it's just a fucking worst time to try to get a business together. You know, it's like people are so conformed to what has they've been able to up to this far been able to process, and they can't accept anything different. Then it doesn't even matter if it's their say or not. That's why they have to come up with these crude measures, but it's propaganda. But basically, it's the sloganeering, fear porn, propaganda, medical tyranny, and this kind of shit. You know, so like people that are weak, who's like thrive in anonymity, are only ever gonna be happy with this shit. Don't try to rationalize with them. They got to check. They got to check. So don't try to rationalize with them. You know what I mean? You're wasting your focus, your own, and that's valuable. Your time is valuable. You know, and not this contentious like petty competition for something that you can easily win. Then it's dialed in. Then I'm supposed to trust you. You know what I'm saying? Or some people are supposed to like look at Brother Polite most recently. All he's doing is use his melanin to take advantage of young women. It's not like he had good looks. You know, the melanin blessed him with finances. He used his finances to and whatever new age pseudoscience, spirit science bullshit that he could come up with. But that's basically creative imagination and melanin too. The ethereal prospect, like the ethereal part of it, where you can't say it's evil because the last person to use it used it for evil, and then your reference to it, you know what I'm saying, is him. Brother Polite is the new symbol for how much I hate you, since we can't hate Bill Cosby anymore. They're just it's not as mainstream anymore, and because they can't be, you know, saying there's no really point to try and buy CBS anymore, is it? They wouldn't have to try to come and kill your family if you tried to buy them, you know, not CBS, but the people like that. There's a level where that is a chink in the armor, then you can own it, then it would upset the whole, you know what I'm saying? And people who didn't know that would try to buy it, and their son or somebody would get sacrificed or something like that. That was not going to happen anymore. CBS is trash. It's garbage. They're trying to move. They're trying to convert into some other thing than that. And if they want to be privatized, they missed the mark. It's not going to be, because you can't reinvigorate the economy through the agora and through the marketplace. You have to come up with some new venues that people contribute their time and energy into outside of the marketplace, to take some. It's like to take some of the market is too much liquidated with currency. There's too much of it. Get some of it out of here. Get some of it to other ecosystems, self-sustained ecosystems and shit like that. And so if the government or whoever shady elitist is trying to capture the power of that, they fucking fell asleep and they're not on it right now. And it's too late. It's too late. So they're trying to say, oh, we got to cough. Oh, you're dying and sick. Oh, you're sick. You're toxic, and babies are toxic and old people are dying. Fucking that the shop for statistics, tell you everything's poison, chemtrails and everything, and it's cookies. You know, it's none of this shit has ever worked up until now, and we should be rejoicing because we're victorious. We're still here. You know what I mean? That's it. I mean, the only thing that can ruin the experience is fear. And so it's like a mandate now. Everybody, you know, you have to show some. You don't have to show them the respect that they can't earn, but give it to them in the form of fear. Give it to them in fear, and they'll accept that and go around in chambers and you know what I'm saying, in like a capitulation with the judge and the prosecutor when they got you acting out like that. Like you think that there's no more recollection of any loss just because they let out a bunch of people from jail, and because it seemed like their actions are a little bit swayed in a different, you know, so like they're still doing the same shit. It's just you aren't falling into the hole. You didn't fall into you started walking around the hole and stopped falling into it. That's the only difference. And you know what I'm saying? You may think you're only one person or anything, but you don't know how much money is in your slush fund account and that's attached to your Social Security that you will never have with all that sovereign citizen crap. You go to jail for that shit. Don't worry about it. There's some other shit. That is more interesting, but I can't talk about that because there's just as many people wanting to go fuck up other people's opportunities as there is people that would recognize the opportunity to go for it in the first place. So it's pointless for me to even fucking talk about it. But I know about some shit.